Hi everyone, this is Ramanuj here from 𝘀𝗁𝗍. How are you guys doing? Please quickly introduce yourselves in the chat. Today we have a very interesting topic and I have to finish very quickly because I have another webinar after this. So, yep, we are going to make this quick. Right, so quickly introduce yourselves, everyone in the chat, and you can also network with each other, share your link, your LinkedIn or Twitter links with each other. Okay, so that you can connect with each other, network with each other, support each other in whatever you're doing. And I am going to open today's presentation and get started. Okay, so how many of you have attended my sessions before? If you have never attended, write 0. If you have attended before, write the number of times you've attended. 2, 3, 5, 10, 10 plus, 14 plus. Wow. Okay. 4. All right. Super. There are some new faces. A lot of people who have attended a lot of times before. Good to see you guys back here. All right. So for those who are here for the first time, I am Ramanuj Mukherjee. I am CEO of 𝘀𝗁𝗍. I graduated from NUJS in 2011, and I worked in a law firm, Trilegal, for a year, and then I started iPleaders, my own startup. For the last 9-10 years, I've been doing startups, iPleaders, Super Lawyer, 𝘀𝗁𝗍, and of course, I have been doing this 9 p.m. talks, webinars, almost every day 9 p.m. These days, even on weekends. Usually I do it on weekdays only, but I have so many things to cover. I decided to do it even on the weekends. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again and again on topics that interest you. Okay. So today's topic is how to score well in law school exams without burying yourself under books. And I will try to move fast, but you guys can keep writing stuff on the chat, right? This annotate thing I need to switch off. I guess some people are experimenting with the screen. Yep, great. Disable attendee. So we can begin. So I joined NUJS as a second topper in the entrance exam. Okay, the first topper had joined NLS Bangalore, and I expected to top the semester exam also, right? Because I am smart, I have cracked the admission test, I was a topper there, so I should be doing that in semester exam also. So first semester came. Honestly speaking, the way I remember, the first semester I felt like the Himalaya has crashed on my head. Because first thing they told us is that we have to write 5 projects of 5,000 words each, right? And in this semester, and first we have to make a, like, it was just crazy. Okay, it was, yeah, you have read this post, so but many others may not have, so I'll just run through this quickly. It felt like things have crashed on my head. Okay, and I didn't know how to handle all these projects, these exams. I remember I was super scared before the economics exam. I thought I might even fail that exam, but I studied hard, and somehow I cleared it. And I was ranked 12, so I was disappointed that what is going on. I studied so hard, but I ranked 12. Then I worked harder next semester. I thought, okay, this semester maybe something went wrong, something bad happened, but this semester I'll be back to topping my class. I worked harder the next sem and I ranked 15. And this was not nice because in school I used to top, and then I did well in the entrance exam, so I was very upset, and I'm a very competitive person. I want to win all the time, and it made me very, very sad and upset. And then I tried once more with all my might. This time I said, okay, those semesters done. This is the first semester of the second year, like third semester in college. And I'm like, I'm going to do everything in my power to top this time, right? I pulled out all stops. I studied really hard throughout the year. I even like started reading this big fat books of Mullah and like whatever that, 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧 on constitutional law. So because third semester we had constitutional law, so I even tried to read 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧. I finished reading the book back to back, but I could not even break into top 10. Clearly, whatever I was doing was not working. And what was worse, I could not understand why I was scoring so less in some subjects that I studied so hard, and I knew a lot of it. Like for example, family law. Okay, I had a lot of interest in family law. I studied family law like anything. I read much beyond what was there in the textbooks. Like whatever is the syllabus, I read much more. So I thought I'll do well in family law, but well, I got like very average marks in family law, and that ruined my grades. I was like, what is happening? There are subjects in which I have not prepared so well. I have not done well in that, and the subject I studied throughout the semester, I read constitutional law so much. I read the bloody 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧, huge fat book. Still, I could not score that much. I mean, what is going on here, right? Is there any method to this madness? Are the teachers unfair? And I felt very sure that they're unfair because I worked so hard, right? So there are people who haven't worked hard and they're not scoring. The first semester could have been like that because I was a little caught off guard. But the third semester, I really worked hard and I scored just like a little better. And I was like, what is going on? I felt terrible. Okay. So is it that I'm dumber or there is something wrong with me? Okay, why are people scoring better than me and I am not able to score, right? Have you guys ever felt like this? Have you ever experienced this? Anybody here? I mean, most of you probably are not crazy enough to study 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 on constitutional law. Hopefully not. But otherwise, has this happened to you? Like, you don't understand here. Some subject you're scoring so well, some you're not scoring well, and there seems to be no logic, right? 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 Singh has a very interesting thing. I agree with you. Initially, I also felt terrible realizing that on some subjects for which I studied hard, I used to score less, while on the other end, despite being underprepared, I really used to score well. So I just wanted to know where the hell I'm going wrong. What's the thing that others were scoring more than Acha? But there was no one to answer. You'll understand. Like you are understanding gradually, right? What is the reason? Right? Have you thought about it? What is the reason? Okay. Have you come across anything? Tell me, okay, if you have figured it out. I would love to know. Yeah. Failed terribly in biology, which is the most loved subject. Yeah, exactly. We all mess up with the subjects that we love the most, right? What's going in low tier law schools regarding scoring? Parth Raj, tell me, I want to know. You guys are here to tell me. It's not only I will tell you something, you can also teach me something, right? So tell me what's going on. Give me the information, what's happening, right? Okay. So you guys tell me, okay? Keep commenting. I really would want to know. Okay. Yeah. So basically, we are operating under some kind of misconception about what gets you marks and stuff, right? Because we all have some preconceived notion. People tell us, school, college, teacher, everyone tell us stuff, right? So you must have noticed this. The kids who study the most do not necessarily score well in class. Okay, have you noticed like that? There are some kids in the class who study really hard and still don't score well. If you have seen, right, yes. If you have never seen that, right, no. Okay. And then there are some people who are not even studying so cool. There are people, 𝘂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 hai, they study really. But there are some people who don't even study and still score well, right? So everybody wants to be those kids, right? Who don't study, is partying, having great fun and still scoring so well, right? The primary reason for this failure was the thinking that I need to read more and know more about the subject to score well. Okay, so if I read Bangya and in contracts I did not score enough in contract 1, then in contract 2 I'll think, okay, maybe if I read Mullah and Mullah, then I will score more, right? Do you think like that? Or Avatar Singh at least, if not Mullah and Mullah, that is too fat, right? Yeah. Have you thought like that? That I have to read a fatter book. Maybe I have to read Anson on contracts. People still come and ask me, sir, can you suggest a good textbook on contract law? like should I read foreign textbooks instead of reading Indian contract law textbook? Like it will make a difference. Okay. Okay. So so I need to read more and know more about the subject to score well, right? So this was I was thinking. This unfortunately does not work. Hello, wake up. If you're still thinking that, then you are lucky today. You are in today's session. We'll break your misconceptions and we'll tell you how to score well so that you never fall for this again. Okay. Scoring well in exams is like boxing. The person with the most strength or stamina has no guarantee of winning. You need to understand the game and prepare to win, right? So just because you are the strongest person doesn't mean you'll win in a fight, right? If you get into a fight on the street and you might be very good at boxing, somebody picks up one brick and hits you on the head and you lose, right? Or somebody just runs away, you cannot fight with them. So you never know what's going to happen. An exam is also like that. Writing answers is also an art, and you might still write the best answers and still not score well. Shruti, wake up call. If you're thinking writing brilliant answers is going to 100% make you top in the exams every time, are you thinking like that? Okay, then let me tell me what you think after end of this session. Okay, so it took me 5 semesters and a different kind of education to figure out what it takes. Okay, I started ranking in the top 3 to 5 in my class despite studying a lot less. So in the beginning, I was trying to read every day. I was spending a lot of time in the library as a habit, and still I was not able to score. Okay, still I was not scoring, and I was decent in writing. I was using markers to highlight stuff and everything, like all the normal things you can think of. I scored well in boards exam. I know all that trick, right? I was not getting. So what the hell is going on here? But then later on, I started ranking. I topped in some subjects. Okay, I scored top marks, second top marks, and I was not even studying. I was studying for a few days before the exam, and I was still getting that kind of marks. Okay, so how is it happening? So what happened in between that caused this transformation? I learned about the 80-20 rule, Pareto Principle. Have you guys heard of the 80-20 rule? Have you ever heard of 80-20 rule? If yes, just say yes, and somebody please explain what is 80-20 rule or Pareto Principle if you know about this. What is it? What is 80-20 rule? Anubhav, Jagannath, you are saying you have heard, right? What is 80-20 rule? Anubhav, I am not unmuting anybody right now. Please don't disrupt the class. Okay, if you want to type, you type. Okay, 80-20 rule. If you can't say, I will say it. Okay, 80-20 rule is where you are, so there's this guy called Pareto. Okay, and he found out that, there is this 80-20 rule. For example, 20% of the people in the country hold 80% of the wealth, and rest of the 80% people only own 20% of the wealth. Or then he found that out of all the factories, 20% is producing 80% of the goods sold, whereas the 80% of the other factories is only producing 20%. So basically there are some super performers, right? Similarly, if you apply 80-20 rule to your own work, then you realize that 80% of your output is coming from only 20% of the effort. Rest of the 80% of your effort is bringing only 20% of your outcome. Okay, so if you realize this and you can identify which effort is leading to which outcome, right, then you will obviously focus on the 20% that is producing 80% of the output, 20% effort that is producing 80%. You will be focusing on that 20%, right, and ignore the 80%. So you are doing 80% work. Now consider that when you are preparing for exams, there is 80% of your effort is useless. It is not producing enough results, but you are still doing that work like crazy, and you are getting tired doing that, and then only 20% of the effort is producing the result. I'll give you an example. Imagine that you are trying, there is a beginning of the semester, there's a way to study, right? So you are trying to read the textbook from cover to cover, and you start reading one page and you try to read it thoroughly. You are like marking, underlining, and you read 10 pages, then you get bored, and then or something happens, you get distracted. And if you go to a hostel room Okay, I have done this experiment and you can do it if you don't believe me. Go to a hostel where people have their books, right? Pick up any textbook. You will see the first 20 pages have been crumpled and they're read. You can understand these 20 pages have 30 pages have been read. The rest of the book will be like virgin white paper. Nothing has been read from those pages. Okay. How many of you relate to this? How many of you have seen this? This is the starting before the when the semester is starting, right? Yes, no, guys, quickly. This happens to you, right? Yes, proudly. Don't pretend. Pretending people never wins. Okay, people who are admit where they are going, this is happening, they have a chance in hell to succeed. Otherwise they don't. Okay. Now, good. So this happens to you. Most of you have experienced this, right? Happens to me also, right? Doesn't mean that I can't be successful or you can't be successful, right? It is better that we admit where our problem is. By the way, sometimes I have overcome this by reading the whole book. Won't make such a difference. Okay. Now what happens is that you have tried doing all this work and you have spent a lot of time. You have made notes. Okay. Beginning of the semester, you're like, this semester, I'm going to study so hard. I'm going to study every day. I'm going to do so much. And then you start writing notes, right? And you are writing notes. And for the first chapter, and you are, you want to be as detailed as possible. You want to work as much as possible. And then you make your everything so complicated, and somewhere after 7 days, all this effort is gone, right? Then life happens and shit happens. And then before the exam, 2 days before the exam, you sit down with books, you find the most simple textbook, maybe a 𝘂𝗶𝗹𝗃 or some kind of 𝘀𝗃𝗃 or whatever, I don't know. There are different parts of the country, people call it differently. So you get those books, okay, and class notes hastily xeroxed from some friend, and then some past year's papers, and in 2 days you stay up all night and you read as much as possible. 2 days is also more. Some people study for only 1 day, right? So, or even few hours, and then you have read like 50-60% of the syllabus, right? And then you are very worried. But if you go and write the exam and you score 70, 80, 60%, I don't know, whatever, right? Whatever you score. But it is out of that 2 days effort that actually happened. Achha, these days people watch YouTube videos also, right? So in our time, this was also not there. But this is that 20%, guys, that 20% thing that produced 80% of your result. Probably it is not even 80-20, it is 95-5, 5%. Okay, 5% of your result is produced by all that 95% work you did for the semester, and then 5%, which is like your 5% of your semester, you studied something, and that produces all the results, and that will be responsible for you graduating from law school, getting a degree and everything, right? Okay. So this is Pareto principle. The idea is this is a mind change. If you really get Pareto principle, if you really get 80-20 rule, you start thinking that, boss, is that 95% anyway relevant? Right? Or is that 80% that produces only 20%? If I just eliminate it from life, kitna jhamela khatam, right? Then I can only focus on what matters. Maybe in the beginning of the semester, I'll read that 𝘀𝗃𝗃 and I'll read that whatever past year's papers and notes. I can get notes from seniors and read in the beginning of the semester instead of reading it end of the semester just before the exam, right? But it is not so simple. I'll explain to you. There is more steps to it, but I'm just trying to tell you that this is a mind-changing thing. Second, remember that you always win the game you are playing. Okay, this is a cryptic thing. Now you're saying, what is he saying? You always win the game you are playing. I'm playing this game, but I'm not winning, right? I want to top in my class, but I'm not winning. What are you talking about, right? But I am telling you, if you are winning the game that you're playing, and the games that you think you are playing are not the games that you are playing. Okay, so you think that you want to top, but actually maybe you are playing a different game. Maybe the game you are playing is to impress people with how much you know, or it may be the game that I want to be the most knowledgeable person in my class in constitutional law. That has nothing to do with how much you score in constitutional law. Okay, it is very much possible that you learn a lot of constitutional law, and correct the mistakes of your constitutional law teacher in the class and screw up your marks. Okay, completely backfires. Okay, so first know what game you are playing. Maybe your friends will be very impressed that, oh, he knows all this constitutional law, but will that result in translate into marks? That is not necessary. Okay, guys, are you relating to this? Very simple, right? Okay, first know what game you are playing. If your game is to score the highest marks, then you are clear that you are not playing the game of impressing everybody in the class. You are not playing the game of anything else. Just whatever will help you to, and not being most knowledgeable in that subject. Okay, I don't know, like if you just read the entire MP Jain in constitutional law or the entire Mullah in contract law, will that help you? I seriously doubt, my friend. Okay, I don't think so at all. I shouldn't say I doubt. I'm pretty sure it will not help you. Okay, contrary to what all your teachers may have told you, or you may have heard from lawyers, whatever. Okay, have you ever met somebody who has actually read these things, and it is like mystifying, right? Like people are saying that you need to read so much, then you will be a better lawyer. Have you ever, do you think Zia Modi or like any top lawyer in the country are top lawyers because they have memorized entire Mullah and whatever? No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, but I don't want to talk about what it doesn't include. Let's just talk about how to score more, right? First, know what game you are playing. If your goal is to get a certain knowledge, you'll get it. If your goal is to read the entire 𝘂𝗧 back to back, you will be able to read it, but then you will not be able to get marks. Are you okay with that? But who said that knowledge will lead to anything else, right? People may be saying, your parents and teachers may be saying, but when you fail to get the marks, they'll just say, must be your fault, right? They will not listen to you that, no, I studied everything, still I didn't get it. Okay, if you have already experienced it, then you will not listen to them if you are smart. If you want to score high, that is a different game and needs to be figured out separately. I am not saying that don't try to be knowledgeable in constitutional law or company law or whatever. Please feel free. But that's a separate game than scoring high. If you want to score high, it's a different game altogether. A lot of people are in the game of impressing others and they succeed in that, okay, but may not do well in exams. There was someone like that in our class. I don't want to take names. If there's anybody, any batchmate of mine in this webinar anywhere close, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, but I'm sure there is somebody like that in your class also. Okay, so this guy came in the first year, and then he was reading these economics books, and like whatever people were reading, he was like bringing some other big fat book from some professor and reading this and showing off in the hostel corridor and in front of the classroom how much he knows. And we are all very impressed, okay, and intimidated also. Okay, Bapre, like this guy knows so much. Is this how NUJS is? How can we compete with these people like that? But he did not do well when the exams happened. It was laughable. He even failed 1 or 2 subjects. Left law after first year, shifted to another economics college. I won't say the name of the city, it will be too obvious to everyone. But by the end of first year, okay. Now, this is what happens. Have you seen anything like this happening in your vicinity? People who are hugely impressive on paper during the exam actually flunking, or maybe thankfully they're not flunking, they're passing, but there is nothing to write home about their performance. Yeah, have you seen that? Yes, no, maybe. Guys, write something, yes or no, or maybe, whatever you have experienced. Don't sit quietly, participate. Yeah, everyone is saying yes. Somebody saying maybe. I have seen in my college, I have seen so many people speaking so much in class, then scoring very less, even getting backs, right? You are amazed, right? Yeah, so that's how it works. This is the story everywhere. Now you realize, you must have thought this is a anomaly that happening only with that person, but this is a trend everywhere happening, right? Right. I tried picking up some fancy book for economics until my senior told me to chill. Right. Very good. You had a senior to at least tell you. Right. Where did this misguided belief that studying more will result in better exam performance come from? It all comes from our childhood. My father drilled it in my head when I was a kid. Practice, practice, practice. He will say, practice, practice, practice. He would say, if I spend more time with books, I was rewarded. Basically, the idea was that, oh, you are studying, very good. Knowledge and intelligence was prioritized. You should have a lot of intelligence. Oh, you are very intelligent. This person is intelligent. That person is not intelligent. Constant judgment. And you should have a lot of knowledge. Like knowledge will make a big difference. Okay. But presentation, optics, social engineering, networking, these are of no importance. Don't mix with anyone. This is what my father taught me. Speak slowly. No, my father is in a different city. I am in Delhi. He won't listen. So this was further reinforced by the environment in school. The key to getting top marks was to rote learning. Memorize, memorize, memorize. Everything memorize and then write. And write long answers. Right? How many of you learned that? And in English, the best thing was in English, my English teachers taught me that the more complicated language you write, more difficult words you write, more long sentences you write, it is better. I had to learn all these things, unlearn these things. Okay. Otherwise, I will be nowhere. Okay. So I used to score good marks in school. However, when I was a kid, I believed, due to influence of my parents, of course, that the most brilliant person will get top marks, right? Who is the person who gets top marks in the class? Must be the most brilliant kid, right? Did you grow up with that belief that the person who's getting the highest marks in class must be the smartest, most brilliant, God-gifted intelligence? Yeah? You didn't think so? Madhavan is saying no, he didn't think so. Then you must have had parents who told you otherwise, right? But I was thinking that, and I was trying to be that. Okay. So I was thinking that, the people who are topping in class must be the most God-gifted, intelligent people, and they have some. So I was trying to be one of them, right? But actually, I realized later that we have all picked up a bunch of garbage from our parents' childhood environment that slow us down and hold us back in life. Our progress often depends on unlearning all this garbage that stops us from growing. Okay. There is no point being nice about it. These things are garbage and it will hold you back. Okay. So I'm sorry if you feel bad about this, but this is true, right? There is nothing can be done about it. We have to unlearn all these things to make any progress in life. Otherwise, these things are so they have so much power over us that we never question these things. It's like reality for us. Never changing reality, right? Undying reality, unless you somehow get out of it, right? There are multiple factors we need to take into account to understand what leads to good marks in class. And I'm going to give you a couple of factors. For example, can the teacher tell whose paper they are correcting? This can be a very important factor, as the teachers often guess whose paper they are correcting, and might be, by the way, guessing incorrectly. Okay, but trying to guess. And they are human beings who have preconceived notions and biases. Okay. If you think your teachers are perfect human beings, think again. They are also human beings with preconceived notions and biases. Also, a lot depends on how focused you are, right? So that is an external thing you can't control, but this is something you can control. For example, somebody may not be the smartest, but very focused. Okay. Then what kind of guidance you have, right? Somebody actually telling you do X, Y, Z, and you will be able to do it. What kind of habits you develop around studying, which parts of syllabus you studied, what kind of standards you set for yourself, and so on. So a lot of things. Intelligence is of secondary importance. Plenty of very intelligent kids fail to do well. I have seen some of the most intelligent people I know never did well in exams, never did well in life for that matter, because they are not as disciplined, strategic, or resourceful as their less intelligent counterparts who are very successful because of those factors. So what are the steps you can take to drastically improve your marks while also freeing yourself from the tyrannical syllabus, so you can learn what really matters or do what would help make your career, rather than spending all your time trying to study the syllabus, which will probably not be that useful once you're out of college. Okay. So I keep giving this example, but imagine you know all the sections of Contract Act by heart, which I don't know. but I can find out in 2 seconds from Google anyway. But let's say you know that, right? But when you go to a client, the client wants you to draft one, even a NDA, and you just have read these sections. You don't know how to draft it. You have to negotiate or review a shareholder agreement or any agreement for that matter, right? You don't know how to do it. Even if you have memorized all the case laws, you topped in your class, you memorized the bloody mullah and mullah, still you won't be able to. Now, the best thing that happened when I figured this was I was free from the tyranny of the syllabus. I figured this out, how to get out of this cycle, and then I was free from the tyranny of the syllabus. A lot of teachers believe that it is good for students to spend a lot of time in the class and reading big fat law books. Out of this wrong belief, they try to keep the students occupied at all times with a huge syllabus, a lot of reading material, and tons of exams. And my agenda today is to make you free from this. Okay? Because I know if you get free from this, you will do some good stuff with your time. This leaves no time to explore important aspects of your career. For example, you may not have time to intern round the year. A lot of people say, sir, I have exams, I have classes, I have blah, blah, blah. I can't intern round the year. If you can't intern round the year, you are at a huge disadvantage. Okay. You may not even have time to prepare enough to win a moot. Let's say you're doing a moot, but you're doing only half-heartedly because you have so much study, class work, and you don't know how to handle it. You'll not be able to do well in there. You may not have enough time to attempt a startup, or you don't have time to do freelance work because you are so occupied with your syllabus like I was. I was totally occupied for the first 1.5 years, those 3 semesters. I was going crazy. I was avoiding everything. I stopped going home. I stopped talking to people. I tried studying so that I can finally do well, but it was all for nothing. This will most likely happen to you in a law school as well. People will try to give you so much work to keep you busy. The goal is to figure out how to escape this tyranny of syllabus so you can learn what makes sense to you to learn, right? What you will make your career out of those things, and you will figure that out. I sat down to plan the shortest way to get maximum marks, right? So around somewhere in my 4th semester or 5th semester, I don't remember exactly when, but around that time, it's a little hazy memory. I sat down to figure it out. Sat down with pen and paper. Okay, nothing. Okay, trying to invent a way that what should I do? I identified the following steps. Okay. Step 1. It is not enough if you work hard. The teacher needs to have the impression that you are working hard. Additionally, it is important that the teacher likes you. In most universities, a bunch of marks is awarded by the subject teacher. Even if you're in Bombay University, Delhi University, where there are external teachers, okay, even they have some marks to give you. Yes or no? They have some discretionary marks. But if you're in an NLU or Symbiosis, Amity, any kind of university, within the university, the teacher, then so everything is in hand of the teacher, right? So it is very critical factor. Although actually a lot of the mystery why I was not scoring well was also because I was sleeping in the class. I was doing other things in the class. I was constantly pissing off my teachers. Okay. And that did not help. The teachers who liked me, I got good marks. When I look back, I see consistently when the teachers and I had a good relationship, I got good marks every single time. Step 2. If you are, let me give you an example here. This is actually important to understand. Okay. How would the teacher know that you are working hard? So for example, in my first semester, in one, we could score 7 CGPA, right? In one subject, in 2 subjects, I scored 7 out of 7. So in those, one subject was taught. And why I scored 7? Because I scored very high project marks, one of the best in the class. Why did I score so high? Because I have been going to the teacher and asking questions and telling her, and I had no strategy, by the way, because I was not doing in all subjects. In that subject, I was a little stuck, and I was going to the teacher with some suggestions and questions and telling her what I have researched. And she said, go write this. And I got very good marks because the teacher saw I was working hard. Now, there are other subjects where I was working harder, but I never went to the teacher. I was working in silence. Okay. So I did not get as much marks in project in those subjects. Because who has time to read these hundreds of projects, right? If you are doing a project, make sure you go and ask the teacher for advice and share what you have already researched and plan to write. This will ensure you get above average marks in project, viva, etc. Because the teacher sees that you are working, whereas many hardworking students will never go and consult teachers. So the teachers have no idea that they are working hard. Okay. Listen, marketing is important. A good product alone is not enough. So if you are a good product, if your work is good, it is not enough. There has to be marketing backing it. People should know that you are actually good. Okay. One who teaches you never corrects your papers, but Sri Lakshmi, there must be some project, something must be there, right? There is an external pay person, but there must be some marks in the hands of your teacher. I am not aware of any university where no marks at all is in hand of the teacher. Some viva marks, internal marks. So there is marks, right? That internal 10, 20, 15 marks matter a lot in the final score. Okay, whether you get that makes a difference between grades and who tops and everything, right? Okay. So that matters. So when you are working, show your teacher that you are working, right? Go meet him a few times, and there's more. Pay attention in class, right? Step 3, pay attention in class. Teachers love attention. Ask some questions, but ones that teachers can answer. Do not show off to your friends by asking hard questions that they will not be able to answer. You are only antagonizing the teacher, and she will probably take it out on you in some way or the other. Okay. At least they're not going to like you, right? So it will have some impact on stuff. Go after class to meet them, to ask additional questions and share drafts of articles you are writing for their comments. It will improve their opinion of you. Okay. So basically, give them attention, reach out to them. Remember, most human beings easily succumb to flattery, especially when most students see teachers with contempt these days and are not that nice to the teachers. Okay, so teachers really love students who give them attention and flatters them. Okay, so why not do it? Step 4, 2-3 months before the exam, meet your subject teacher. By the way, all the advice I've given you, compared to that, this is the most important. Okay, 2-3 months before the exam, meet your subject teacher in their office. Tell them that you want to top in this subject. How can you go about it? For example, can you study the top projects from last year and top answer scripts, people who got top marks, okay, in that subject? Can you read their answer scripts? Okay, so you can understand what is the best way to write answers. This is a master stroke. Okay, by the way, remember that every teacher has a preferred way of writing answers. Okay. Somebody may want a lot of case laws. Somebody may want, that you write it in 1, 2, 3 pointers, bullet points, right? If you study these, first of all, if you study past year's papers, you will come to know that. Second, the teacher will tell you when you are asking all these questions. The teacher will tell you what to actually do in your answer paper, so that they will prefer what they prefer and what they don't prefer. You have to ask them enough questions during this session and understand. All of you with me? Are you getting it, guys? Are you clear on what I'm saying? Did this make sense to you? There are more steps, but I want to make sure you are here with me till here. Do you think this is going to work for you? Have you ever done this? Right? Is it eye-opening? I mean, you surely could have thought of this yourself, but you're not doing it, right? Are you already doing it? Anybody here already doing it, right? Already doing it? Okay. All right. Okay. And how many of you are, kicking yourself under the desk saying that, damn it, why didn't I do this before? Is there anybody like that? Our class toppers never did it. Then your class toppers, you can top them, right? That's the whole point. Nobody does this stuff. This is too advanced. Okay. Most people never do this. But if you do it, do you want to do the most advanced stuff or not? This is the most advanced stuff. Okay. All right. So even if you go to a college where external faculties or check the, somebody, external experts will check papers, take viva, etc. Your subject teacher probably can tell you things from their experience that you would never know otherwise. simply by going up and showing interest in topping in the class, you will get support, advice, guidance that you will never get. Okay? Simply by showing interest in topping. You say, I want to be the university topper. Please tell me what to do. 2 months in hand. You see what your teachers can tell you. They know a lot. And for the next 2 months also, they'll guide you and help you. Okay? Okay. Step 5. Study past year's papers. This one you already know. You need to understand what is considered important from each chapter. Okay, so what does the teacher think is important, or what is considered generally important, right? So in CRPC, CPC, there are certain things which are considered important, and there are a lot of things which are not considered to be that important, right? So this thing obviously will be there. Teacher won't be asking you random question from random things. They will test you on the important concepts, because they also know that CPC, CRPC is huge, right? So they are going to ask you the most relevant stuff. Okay. Syllabuses are and you need to develop that sense on what is important, what is not from CRPC. If you try to read the entire CRPC, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Okay. Syllabuses are usually too vast to learn or remember everything. Okay. It's very unlikely that you will be able to imagine in the same semester you have contract law, CPC, CRPC, Evidence Act, IPC. How are you going to remember all these huge 200-300 sections, 500 sections? You won't be able to do it. Okay, so very important to focus on that 20% which will produce results and avoid that 80%. Make it a habit. So just ask that what is the 20% in this whole bloody book I need to read, or what are the, out of those 100 sections, what are the 20 sections I really need to know well. Okay, that would make the difference. Make it a habit to learn one topic every day from past year's papers. Do not get your past year papers at the end of the semester. What people do in the beginning of the semester, get a textbook. Okay, which is okay. Getting a textbook is okay, but even if you don't get it, don't harm. But what you should get in the beginning of the semester is the past year's papers. Anybody here do this? Anybody here do this? Get the past year's papers in the beginning of the semester. First thing you do in the semester is get the past year's papers. Yeah, that is the smartest thing. Okay. Then you make a list of concepts from the past year's papers. Okay. Maybe a list of, let's say you have in the semester, you have 100 days. Make a list of 100 topics from the past year's papers. And then every day, make it a habit to learn one topic from the past year's paper. Those lists you have made, na? Every day you learn at least one. That will make a difference. Every day you learn one topic and it will make a huge difference. Make it a habit. So if you are studying for this, and it's very easy, right? In 10 minutes, you'll be done studying one topic, or 20 minutes maximum. Then don't even try to read 2-3. You can, I mean, if you have, but rather, just figure out how you do it. Maybe, every day you study 3 topics, and then every different days in the week you study different subjects. Figure it out how you'll do it. Do not try to read textbooks back to back. It never works. And this is the one big problem that stops people, wastes time, create a lot of problems. If you pick up 𝘀𝗃𝗵𝗵 and try to read it from front to back, terrible, terrible. This is not how you are going to top in class. This is not how you're going to score high marks. Okay. Although it is the most obvious thing, this is what our parents may have taught us. This is not going to work. Instead, start learning concepts tested in past year's papers. So flip into the book and open that part where that particular concept that was asked in past year's paper is there. Read that, just understand that. Also read the most simple and easy textbook back to back once. Okay, this is very important. Get the most simple, that 𝘂𝗶𝗹𝗃, etc. get in the beginning of the semester and read through the whole thing, not before the exams. Although teachers will encourage you to read big fat textbooks, there are no tangible benefits of doing the same. Step 7, get class notes to understand what the teacher considers is important. Those things are important. This you also know, right? But you do this at the end of the semester. End of the semester, there is not enough time left. What if you got the past student, like last batches notes, get that in the beginning of the semester. That will make a huge difference. Right? Sri Lakshmi saying, true, been reading the whole textbooks for 3 semesters. I swear it never works. Focus on learning those not try to get an overall knowledge on the subject at the same time. Okay, your game, remember, what game are you playing? You're not trying to be knowledgeable in constitutional law in one semester, not going to happen. But you can be the gold medalist in constitutional law. So what do you want? Play your game carefully, choose your game carefully, do not distract yourself. Somebody is asking, where will we get past year's papers? I don't know, ask in your college. Focus on presentation during answering. Teachers find it terribly boring to read through answer scripts. It's a drudgery they hate. They hate reading papers. If you have seen law teachers, they hate reading all these answer papers. They do not read everything. Writing short, colorfully marked answer papers, get their attention a little bit more, and they will give you extra marks for that effort. Okay. What else? Do you have any other ideas? Anybody has any other ideas that you want to share quickly? Any ideas, guys? Divide time for each question. Applied and practical knowledge. Practical knowledge won't help you to score well in class. Yeah, it might actually help. If you write some extra stuff, sometimes it may help. It may help you to impress your teachers also. Okay. Use flowcharts. Very good idea. Use flowcharts. It's amazing. I love this. Teachers PPT enough, or do you have to purchase books? I don't know. You don't rely on PPT. Read from online at least if you don't purchase books. These days, a lot of all the topics will be available online to read. Step 8. What was step 8? I forgot what I said in step 8. Remind me. Crisp and to the point answer. True. Write examples. Sure. So all of this you find out from studying the past year's papers, answer script of past toppers, what they value, right? So that you can do that. Whether they care about headings, whether they care about case law, whether they care about examples, what they want to see, all of that you can learn very easily. Should we highlight in exams? Yes, but highlight by underlining is better. You can highlight, no problem. You can highlight with a highlighter. Great idea. I think it's very important to read question properly. Sure. That's true. All of that is true. Make colorful notes. Sure. I mean, don't waste time. Focus on 80-20. Don't do frills. Focus on what will get you the real result. So what I have told you will get you the real result. Okay. Main following your teacher's method. Sure. What the teacher values, what the teacher will get marks to. What does he care about? What does she care about? Follow that. Okay, so how much will your academic score matter in your career, right? This is an important question, right? What do you guys think? Will that really matter? Academic score, will that really matter? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, I'll just tell you, I don't know where my degree certificate is. Sure, in my first job, it was useful. Since then, it has not really been of any use. Okay, so, you might be thinking that this is like the most life and death thing for you, but I can assure you that it is not. Okay. Make sure, I mean, you will probably, I don't even remember what marks I got. I was obsessing about marks when I was in college. Now I don't even remember what marks I got for what happened, nothing. I don't know where my degree certificate is. Maybe my mother knows, I don't know where it is. Okay. Probably if I need it ever, I'll have to go get a new one issued from the university, honestly. Okay. Stay in touch with me on Twitter, right? So how many of you are already connected with me on Twitter? Are you connected with me on Twitter already or not? If not, I invite you to connect with me on Twitter. You can ask me questions there. Okay. Here you go. I'll share this on YouTube as well. All right. And I have couple of webinars coming up, right? So do you guys want to attend more webinars with me to learn things like this? Interested or not? You want to attend more webinars by me? So I have a webinar tomorrow. It is on how to prepare yourself for a legal career abroad. Okay, how many of you want to attend my webinar tomorrow on how to prepare yourself for a legal career abroad? Are you interested? If you are interested, write yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to share this link with you. You can register here. You can just go to 𝘂𝗋𝗺𝗀𝗋com/webinars and you can find it there as well. Okay. All right. So those who are watching this on YouTube, please visit 𝘂𝗋𝗺𝗀𝗋com/webinars and watch this. No, I really have to end this now. I have just 2 minutes. I have another webinar coming up. Okay. You can go to 𝘂𝗋𝗺𝗺com/webinars and I have a webinar with the Dean of Texas A&M University. Okay. I would love you guys to join there also. And he's going to talk about how to make a career in the US as a lawyer, how to make a career as an academic in a US university if you'd like to do that, how to do an US LLM and how it can benefit you, how to have a career in the US if you'd like to have a career. So would you like to join that? How many of you would like to come for that also? How many of you want to come for that? Yes. Anybody wants to come for that? Right? Yes. Okay. Simply already joined. Great. So you just have to go to lawsikho.com/webinars, right? Just come there. I am moving there now in 2 minutes. Just join me there. All right. And there is a WhatsApp group that I want you to join. Right. I'll quickly share the link with you guys. Here you go. I want you to join this WhatsApp group so that we can stay in touch and you can get more updates from us. Right. So how many of you want to join that WhatsApp group? Here, right? And I'm going to share with you actually the link of the next webinar so that you can just register in case you are finding it hard to find. Here you go. The Dallas one, yes. The Dallas one in Texas. So we'll have Bobby, who is Robert Adier, logging in from Texas, Fort Worth, Dallas. Okay, so you guys can join this here. Yep, I've shared it. All right, great. See you there. It's 10 o'clock. Bye bye. Take care. I gotta go.